These videos all have endings that will keep you guessing, and as you are watching, just remember, not all surprises end well. Number 10. An officer pulls over a vehicle for running a red light. He and the driver are having a discussion about what to do next, when it looks like a third vehicle is trying to get the officer's attention off in the distance.
The other light, the light's going straight. Who is this?
The officer probably guesses he is being flagged down by someone with an emergency to report, which happens from time to time during traffic stops, but that's not how this video ends at all.
Hey, get out of here, man. You're good.
The headlights continue to grow brighter, and soon the officer realizes this driver has no intentions of slowing down. He steps around the back of the car moments before getting flattened. I don't know if the person driving was just completely not paying attention, but this is a major violation that could easily land them behind bars. The police officer lets the first person go and ducks into his squad car to pursue the other car. I'm sure this is definitely not how they were expecting the traffic stop to end. Number 8. A news reporter is getting ready to go live when an elderly local wanders into his frame.
How are you?
The two politely exchange hellos and the reporter thinks nothing of it until he squints off in the distance, thinking he recognizes the person from somewhere. As it turns out, the man who just passed them by was the exact same person who they were seconds away from doing a missing report on.
I'm Jerry, man. Been looking for you for a while. You hurt or anything? No? You cold?
He has memory problems and had wandered away yesterday. Looking at him, you wouldn't be able to tell anything is wrong with his memory, but his shoes are wet and he has been wandering in the wilderness overnight. Fortunately, he somehow found his way back to the road, and they were able to get him before he became too exhausted and lost. Number 7. When this man went after a string of banks along the Cincinnati tri-state area, police were flooded with anonymous calls from people who claimed to know who it was. When they went to his mother's house to take him into custody, she was extremely distraught and said she had watched the news and already knew why they were here. The two pictures look almost identical and the sunglasses did little to hide his true identity. It seems like an open and shut case, but you'll never guess the ending. After some more investigating, they find out the real crook was this man named Conrad Zerdiak, who had bought a lifelike mask for $1,000 and used it during his spree. The mask just so happened to look exactly like the suspect in question. If Conrad's girlfriend hadn't have turned him in, they may very well have gotten the wrong guy. I wonder how many other times a realistic mask was used to commit a wrongdoing, and how many other innocent people may be put behind bars under similar circumstances. After all, saying that somebody was wearing a mask that looked just like you is a pretty unbelievable alibi. Number 6. A Russian police officer pulls a car over at a security checkpoint for questioning, but he barely has a chance to say anything before he finds himself jumping in the vehicle to save his life, and you'll never guess from what. About 20 vicious wolves emerge from the frosty forest and run in unison down the M23 highway. I can't tell if this is computer-generated effects or an unedited CCTV video, but if this really happened, then the police officer gets into the car just 3 seconds before a large wolf trots by where he was just standing. He doesn't even get the door shut in time, and the animal could have jumped in if it really wanted to. The wolves must have recently feasted, because they do seem rather unconcerned with him, but I have little doubt that one of them would have taken him out just for sport if he had stood in their way for much longer. Number 5. This Birmingham, Alabama restaurant seems to be rapidly falling apart, with surprise customers still inside, chunks of ceiling lay strewn on the ground, as more infrastructure cracks and breaks overhead. It looks like the ceiling itself is about to crumble, and it eventually does less than a minute later, but you'll never guess the reason why.
Do me a favor. We had the same experience.
A stranger bursts through the ceiling and lands on their feet, covered in fiberglass insulation. Fortunately, this happened over an empty table and not the counter area, where somebody could have easily gotten harmed. They try to act like nothing is wrong as they walk to the exit and drive away. Later, the man is apprehended after a short chase by police. Investigators think he was trying to take money from the back office, but accidentally fell through the main dining room instead. Whatever his reasoning was, I'm sure the customers never guessed their meal would be ended early by his grand escape. Number 4. Two golfers in Florida decide to have some fun with an alligator near the edge of an embankment. They tap a golf ball in its direction just to see how it reacts. Try to translate what one of them says at the end if you can too.
Alright, andiamo.
The gator eyes the golf ball and makes a quick decision. Judging by their surprised reactions, it's definitely not the ending they were expecting. Notice how the gator seems to hold eye contact with the person recording. I know these reptiles have very limited intelligence, but it's almost as if the gator knows it has the last laugh as it slips into the water without breaking its stare. Number 3. A YouTuber named Alone in the Dark takes a 2-hour tour of a haunted hospital that has been out of commission for a long time. He repeatedly hears noises and gets signs that he is not alone, like here for example, when you can see a light appear out of nowhere in response to his voice.
Seems I hear ringing.
At one point on an upper floor, he finds a long streak of dried red liquid running down the wall from a nearby ceiling vent. It almost looks like someone was grabbed from above by something terribly strong and pulled up into the ventilation duct, where they met a horrible fate.
Looks like blood.
Something else strange about this video is how all of the cabinet doors that he passes by seem to be flung open. Cabinets opening by themselves is a classic sign of a haunting, so take that for what you will. When he is finally ready to leave, the paranormal events really pick up in ways you'll never guess.
There's a lot more going on in this thing.
First, he hears an ambulance pull up to the defunct hospital, and then he sees shimmering lights on the ground. It could just be broken glass reflecting into the beam of his flashlight, but then again, it could be a paranormal energy signature. Either way, the timing of the ambulance siren is too much of a coincidence for me to believe this was anything normal. Number 2. A European factory worker takes a thin rod and coaxes molten metal down a chute. Once he has a steady stream going, he takes off his protective gear and you'll never guess how the video ends. With no glove and not even so much as a jacket to protect his bare arms, the fearless factory worker swats at the lava-like substance with just his hand. Watch how the splattered molten metal scorches a nearby pipe and dries into thickened black clumps, and you can tell this is definitely real. No editing. He does this no less than 6 times and holds his hand out to show only some blackened fingertips and nothing more. I have no idea how this is humanly possible, or more importantly, how he was able to discover this bizarre and rare talent, let alone put it to use at random. Before we get to number 1, my name is Chills and I hope you're enjoying my narration. Are you curious about what I look like in real life? Then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT to find out. Do you like my narrations? If you answered yes, then tap the follow button and thank you for your support. It's a proven fact that generosity makes you a happier person. So if you're generous enough to hit the subscribe button and the bell beside it, then thank you. My music video for Who Am I Now has been uploaded, but do not watch it. Please, please, please don't. Also, don't forget I upload a new video here on YouTube every Thursday and Saturday. Number 1. 3 masked men attempt a daring heist in Sydney, Australia at the Miller Shopping Centre. They are in the middle of taking jewels when literally everyone in the store decides they are not going to take this, and soon the men find themselves running for their lives. Customers and staff join together and chase the men out of the mall. Not even the fact one of the masked men is holding a sledgehammer is enough to hold back the angry vigilante mob. The 3 masked men flee into a red van and speed away with the mob close behind. With so many similar instances caught on video, It's quite a surprise to see everyone join in to chase off the robbers for once. It is said that 3 a.m. is when most paranormal and scary events happen, and as these videos show, it might just be better to go to bed early instead.